Hi, I hesitated to publish this video after I made it. In this video, I discussed some confronting things that I've lived through, which became the motivator on my property journey. The most effective motivators are the ones most personal to you. So I chose to publish this video because I believe it can help anyone who is ready to hear its message. I'm going to share something deeply personal with you, my why. For some of you, this may hit really close to home. Imagine this scenario. Today, you lose your job. Your primary source of income is gone. How long could you survive without it? If you've ever worked in a corporate environment, you might be all too familiar with this scene. I regret to inform you that your employment with the company is no longer required. I'll now give you some time to process this news. Early in my career, I was on the receiving end of that conversation when my role was made redundant. I searched the job market for months and I lived in constant, crippling stress from not knowing where my next dollar was going to come from or how I was going to pay the bills. Eventually, I had to uproot my family and move 1,600 kilometers away just to find a job in my field. And that's when things went from bad to worse. Shortly after I started, there was a restructure and my manager, who was genuinely lovely, was let go and replaced by the most toxic person I have ever come across. Now, I've had my share of bad bosses over the time, but this was another level. This person was so awful that almost all of the existing team members left within a matter of months. And I was trapped. Contractually, if I left within 24 months, then I'd have to pay back thousands for my relocation, which I simply couldn't afford. The hell I endured over those 2 years took a massive toll on me, to the point where after the 24 months was up, I was so demoralized, I didn't even have the confidence to consider looking for a different job. And then this happened. One night, I stayed back late in the vain attempt to appease my manager. On the way home, a car ran a red light and I hit them at speed on my motorbike. Paramedics found me non-responsive in the middle of the road as they struggled to cut off my gear. The doctors told me I was extremely lucky to be alive, as most of the riders in these accidents go headfirst into the car and die instantly. I suffered severe injuries to most of my body, leaving me unable to walk or breathe properly. The doctors ordered me to take months off work to recover, but the guilt and dread of disappointing my manager pushed me back to work even though I could barely move. Being dependent on an employer and the inherent vulnerability it brings is what drove me to take control of my financial future as quickly as I could. I already had 3 properties, but I hadn't seen much success at the time. The market was stagnant, rental demand was weak, and interest rates were high. However, I believed I was on the right path, even though I had no guidance, and most of my peers scoffed and doubted me. I doubled down by developing one of my existing properties and buying 2 townhouses. Although these properties didn't allow me to escape my work situation immediately, they grew in value over time, increasing my personal wealth, reducing my job dependency, and helping boost my confidence. The more my wealth grew, the less reliant I became on my job, and the more I was able to stand up for what's right without fear of consequence. Over my 13 years in the corporate world, I witnessed countless instances of people being treated poorly and being stuck. Most people are trapped in a cycle of trading time for money with no foreseeable way out. And it's not just the workplace. I know people who are stuck in abusive relationships who can't escape because they have no financial security. It's awful and it's debilitating. I knew that my investments were my ticket to freedom. And with self-growing confidence, I climbed the corporate ladder, landing more senior and high-paying jobs, which helped accelerate my investing. I purposefully used my position and influence to stand up for the interest of employers and customers. However, I found the higher you go in corporate, the more people compromise their values out of fear of losing what they have. Being financially secure allowed me to relentlessly defend what I believed was right without giving a second thought to the repercussions of my employment. That's how empowering financial freedom is. Some call it you money because it literally liberates you to speak your mind without fear of consequence. It is the most empowering feeling. And this is my why. This is the reason I never gave up on my property journey. It provided me financial independence and saved me from an awful fate that I know so many people are trapped in. And I think it made me a better person by being able to defend and now help others. Everyone's why is different. Some run towards things like wanting a nicer house, a better future for their kids, or leaving a legacy for their family. For others, like me, it's about overcoming awful adversity. But it doesn't matter what it is, as long as your why is powerful enough to keep you pushing forward on your journey.